Hello and welcome to my channel. It's January 2021. That's correct. And we have a new president named Joe Biden. But before I go, there's a new comment on one of my videos on Rumble. Yeah, check me out on Rumble. Um, I don't know if I'm going to make that my primary space, but I'm definitely be posting there at Rumble more often and also Odyssey or Library as well. But this new video is from freaking Rican 585. I think this is a response to apology. Aren't traders supposed to be executed? So why are they not fulfilling the illegal status of our law and getting rid of all the traitors of our government, starting with the liberal Democrats and backstabbing Republicans in our government? Let's do what Maxine Waters pushed for and harass the hell out of the Democrats. If seen in the street, start with Pelosi and her cronies that elected this fake president into office. Yes, we cannot fight fire with fire, cannot fight hate with hate, and we must move forward. We have to take the high ground. We got to be Obi Kenobi in his fight with Anakin Skywalker before the Darth Vader suit. We have to have the high ground because in the long term, the high ground will always win and proceed on. So we must fight hate with kindness, regardless of how much we don't like it. Um, so I seriously doubt the people that were ransacked in the riot torn cities appreciate Antifa and Black Lives Matter as they destroyed their livelihood. But furthermore, let's get to the part on the where I see a possible doom and gloom future. Now, this was Mozilla blog, which creates Firefox. I know I'm using Firefox. Don't hate me. OBS sucks on Linux when it comes to web browsers. We need more than deplatforming. I'm pretty sure you've already seen this and read this, and these guys seem semi reasonable on the surface. Additional, precise, and specific action must be taken, opposed to just kicking evil Trump off the network. I mean, it, it'd be funny if this was a sitcom or a movie, but it's not. This is real life. The sitting president got kicked off of social media for a handful of idiots that stormed the Capitol during his speech, and he said nothing of insightfulness. He didn't say go storm the Capitol. I don't know. You can't make this stuff up. I don't know. That's neither here nor there. But additional precise specific action must be taken. Reveal who's paying for advertisement and how much they're paying and who is being targeted. On the surface, that sounds very reasonable, but however, we have privacy issues that come into play. I mean, who's to say? Reveal who is paying for products and how much they're paying for it at a certain location. For example, let's say Lord Draco bought deodorant at Walgreens for $3.44 or $3.99 per pack. And it's being targeted to his armpits. I mean, that's an invasion of my privacy, especially if they specifically say which brand I'm using. I mean, there's not much difference between advertising or buying a product. Someone is paying for a service or product to expect a result. While on the surface, that does make sense, but it can be taken out of context real quickly, especially with this rapid cancer of cancel culture. Commit to meaningfully transparency platform of algorithms so we know how and what content is being amplified to whom and the associated impact. I mean, you've created AI to moderate. It's kind of the Google's IP or intellectual property. There's not a tangible thing that you can put your hands on, and it's kind of their IP, and it should be guarded. But at a certain point, I don't know. I'm kind of torn on this one because if you let everybody know what the rules are, what they're looking for, it benefits content creators like me so I don't get in trouble. But at the same time, it lets the bad actors know what words to avoid and then they can get their message through. But really, I think it really comes down to common sense on an individual level. There's certain content creators that I don't want to visit or watch, so I make a um, active action to avoid those creators not click on their videos. I mean, it's just something that we have to take in as personal responsibility. I don't think any site should be forced to, but I understand the sentiment. Um, what's that phrase? The path of hell is paved with good intentions. I kind of see how this one's going. Turn on by default tools to amplify factual voices over disinformation. No, I want that crap to be turned off. Don't tell me who to trust. Like I said, I'm an individual. I can read the source. If I want to believe the source, it's up to me. I don't think these tools should be turned on at all. I mean, I find it very annoying that I go to YouTube and go to certain pages and it says Joe Biden has won the election according to the Associated Press. Yeah, we know. Get over it. It's, especially if you're just talking about, yeah, well, on this date, the Congress convened and President Trump lost and now Biden's president. You'll have that little warning sticker. It gets kind of annoying after a while. Work with independent researchers to facilitate in depth studies of platforms, impact on people and our society, and what we can do to improve things. Well, you know what? The research is already there. A government can say, Facebook, Google, Twitter, give up your data. I mean, as simple as that. Give up your data on the research you perform to enrage people. That's right. I said enrage because that's what they do. They're enraging people. So the information's already there. The studies have already been done. There's the reason why you see certain advertisings, and in the matter that the advertising is set, they've already done the research. They just need to give up the information and study that because I already know the impact on people in our society. It's making us weak individuals go rabid at every single sound or sound bite. I don't know. I I mean it's good intentions. I just think it's a money pit and go nowhere and we'll get nothing out of it. So according to this blog, it kind of points into the direction of where I see this is going. I remember a day where web browsers were just a web browser. It would open up, you type in a website, and there you go. There's no bells and whistles, no optimization, no plugins, no none of that. Auto fill in wasn't there. I didn't even think passwords were able to be auto populated. And sometimes you can either purchase or download a password key manager that will do that for you. Now, web browsers do that by default. So, web browsers are kind of becoming more prominent and more maybe intrusive, more it's to create more of an experience other than just hosting, well, not hosting, but viewing a web page. So let's say Donald Trump runs in 2024 and Firefox and Google and Internet Explorer, for whatever reason, decides to block his campaign website. That will prevent people from going to his website and actually hearing what the man has to say, what policy he wants to put forward. But if web browsers are becoming intrusive and being blocking you from viewing that, that's going to be setting a very dangerous precedence down the road. Now, I don't know if this is ever going to happen, but I do know using Chrome, I've ran into that warning page where this site has been reported to spreading viruses and spyware and all that kind of good, nasty stuff. And it lets you click at your own risk. What if they remove the click at your own risk and just prevent you from going, saying this site has been deemed harmful to society, so we're now blocking access to it. We're not letting you proceed for your own safety. What if they decide to go that route and just not let you view certain websites? I mean, it's kind of easy to do. I mean, if you ever worked in a corporate office or a corporate business setting, there's servers called proxy servers that will actually filter out content. So let's say if you're trying to search for adult related content, your company may have blocked certain those sites and you'll get a message saying according to our internet policy, yada yada yada, you're not able to view this on a work environment because of policy XYZ that deals with blah blah blah. So there's that aspect as well. But what if they that start doing that on the internet itself? Uh, I mean, it's kind of scary to think about, and I hope it never happens. But here's the other tidbit. I know this is an old article from How to Geek. Confirm Windows 10 setup now prevents local account creation, which means you need a Microsoft account. So if you're a Donald Trump or someone that has the wrong thing, and Microsoft decides, well, we don't want you on our platform, so we're just going to deactivate you, meaning you cannot log into your system. And well, we're at a period where you have to have internet connection to sign in. That also is kind of scary too, because let's say you're typing away the email or playing a game, and then Microsoft decides to delete your account. Now you're not able to access your computer. I mean, you physically own the computer, but not the operating system because it's licensed to you to use. But Microsoft forces you to use their account for verification or their services to operate their operating system. I don't know. These are just things that kind of think about. It kind of frightens me. What's going to be the future in computing? I mean, for a perfect example, you have Google, which has Android phones, which requires an account to log in. What if they block your MAC address and you're not able to use your phone, regardless of what carrier you're with? Let's say you're with Verizon or AT&T or one of the other ones. They're okay with you because you're protected from them because of the utility law or something like that. They can't ban you from the service. I mean, they could say you're no longer a customer, but what if the actual operating system of the phone blocks you from using it because it requires an account? I think Apple is set up the same way. So even Apple or Google can say, hey, you're not welcome. You're not going to be using any devices that have our operating system on, which is a very scary thing because Apple and Google are the only two phones out there with a sizable market share, and chances are you're going to be buying one or the other. Now, there's exciting news through several Linux companies or foundations or groups that are trying to make 100% open source or 100% Linux phone that protects your privacy and other things. Now, that's awesome. I don't think they're quite there yet. It's been in development for almost a decade. I think Ubuntu tried to do one. I think Fedora is stepping up their game. Just can't have that experience on a phone because cell phone hardware is really growing rapidly and being able to replace personal computers. Now, that is one step that we could do and should be supporting tech like that or operating systems like Linux that will let you have the phone experience without risk of being shut out of your own device. And keep in mind, I have a Samsung S10 Plus. I think it was $800, $900. That's a big chunk of change for Google to say, you violated our social score, so you're no longer allowed to use our services, including your phone, and we're just going to nuke all your accounts associated with that phone. I don't know. It's just scary to me if that's the direction that they want to move to. Like I said, this is just a possible future, and I don't see it happen. I kind of see it happen, but I don't think it's going to happen overnight. I think we're going to slowly get to that point. But just things to think about in the future and what kind of phones you want to have. That's all. Anyways, leave a comment down below what your thoughts are. Um, are you worried about future tech, or are you excited about an actual alternative to Google and Mac when it comes to a phone? But more importantly, have yourself a wonderful day, morning, or evening.